What's up, everybody? This is episode 114 of Hoops Talk with Dave's Joint. Shout outs to everybody that's been supporting us thus far. For those who haven't seen our episode, go check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and IGTV. But before we start, let us pay some bills first. So our episode is sponsored by the Players Circle. I discovered the Players Circle in the App Store when trying to find a product to track athletes. The Players Circle is a social video platform where players can share their stats, highlights, and accomplishments. If you can hoop and want to get discovered, then you should join the Players Circle. So everybody out there, if you're wondering what the Players Circle is, go to the App Store and check it out. It's a cool app. So yeah, definitely go check this out. But, without further ado, we have a very special guest from the state of Texas. He runs a very cool league called the Swin City League, and he is the founder of the Swin City Magazine.
Yep.
It's a dope product. So here is Mr. Tony Swindle. Tony, thanks for coming on to share your story, man.
No problem. I appreciate you for having me.
Indeed. So when did basketball first begin for you?
Man, it began. Sound like was it brown sugar? No, it started in the 8th grade for me, man. When I was in the 7th grade, I was this 5'5" chubby kid.
Mm-hmm.
Then going into my 8th grade year, I shot up to 6'2" and was slim as a toothpick, and all of a sudden had some athleticism. I took the ancient herb that T'Challa took off Black Panther, and all of a sudden I got these special powers. So I started playing. I started playing ball after that, man.
Wow. So, where in Texas are you from, and what's the basketball culture like over there?
All right, so Dallas. Well, I'm from West Texas, but I live in Dallas, Texas. Which, and we might have an argument about this right here, right now, but they call us the new Mecca of basketball, because we have a lot of players coming out. But you already know Texas, in just the South period is just a sports crazed, place. So that's what, with basketball, we've been pushing out a lot of athletes for some time, and matter of fact, I don't think we've missed a beat yet. So it's pretty dope, man.
Yeah, man. So, did you play high school ball?
Yeah. I played high school, played college, and I played some pro.
So yeah, let's talk about high school. Where did you play high school at?
I went to Amarillo, man. I was under Tim Thomas. He's a I wouldn't just say he's a legendary coach, but he's a very well respected coach in the Texas world. So I played under him, and he molded my game. So I played for him, did pretty well. I was fortunate to go play college basketball, and after that went and play some pro.
So what was the name of your school?
Amarillo.
Okay, Amarillo, Texas.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the Amarillo Polidor class of 1995.
95? Well, who you know in 95?
No, I'm just saying. I just like to shout out every year my guests graduated.
Yeah, okay. I don't even know anybody in 95.
So yeah, you went to Jarvis Christian College after that?
Yeah, Jarvis Christian. Yep.
So what was it like going to a Christian college?
Man, it was an experience. So coming from West Texas, it's not many of us out. I'll say we're like the 2% in West Texas. So going to a HBCU was kind of a culture shock, but it was cool. If that makes any sense. It was Christian. We had to go to chapel I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. It was cool. I mean, it was just like any other college, man.
So it was an HBCU, but it was a religious school as well.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I say like this, just like a Texas Christian or or a Southern Methodist or a St. John's. I mean, they're they're Christian schools and things of that nature, but they're schools.
Right, so. Exactly. So you've also pledged Alpha Phi Alpha.
I did pledge Alpha, man.
So talk about the experience of the Greek life for all the kids out there. They probably might be interested in pledging for a fraternity or sorority. Talk about. I know you can't delve too much into that, but tell them what they should expect in terms of like brotherhood and sisterhood.
I mean, it just depends on the yard, man. I was fortunate to, join Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated chapter Theta Alpha. Shout out to my TA brothers, TA all day, spring, but it was an experience. It was an experience, and what I mean by that is, doing things inside the community, making sure that, we did things to make ourselves look proud, not just as a fraternity, but also as a Black man. The stereotype, either you're playing basketball, you're rapping. No, we're also corporate. We're also, prestigious. We know who we are.
So after college, you started the Swindle Group.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the Swindle Group.
The Swindle Group. So me and my ex-wife, which is my kid's mother, when we were married, we was like, I was heavy in the basketball world, and she was like, "Hey, let's start a business." And I was like, "On basketball?" She was like, "Yeah." And we just did it, man. We started off with basketball and just went on from there.
So at first you was a player developed. You did, skills training and scouting. What was that like?
Man, it was different, man. It was different because going into going from player to trainer was it was easy, but it was different because I wasn't playing no more. So I had to tell, instead of me just doing things, I had to tell guys what to do and how to do it. And then I had to really go into my bag of studying, and listening to, coaches and really watching what, because my agent became my mentor, and he was also a player development guy as well. So I had to start really breaking things down with him. And he started, it just basically, he was telling me a lot of things. And I'm like, okay, I started seeing it then, just the foundation that he gave me, took it from there and ran with it.
Indeed. So when did the Swin City Magazine come into play?
Man, so I'll give you just a quick synopsis of what the timeline.
Okay.
Trainer, as you already said, scouting service, and then after I felt I needed more. I wanted to expand my horizons in regards to the skill training world. So I decided to create a exposure events where I traveled all over. So I was in New York, I was in the tri-state, I was on the West Coast, I was traveling everywhere in the Midwest to, help players, get to the next level, giving them the things that they need. So after 7 years of that, it was like, all right, I started seeing a transition in players. And what I mean by that is a lot of the mentalities started changing, dealing with the social media world. It's now it's about the clout. You want more clout than, the clout and the clout in your game don't add up no more.
Mm-hmm.
So I started seeing that. So it was more of, okay, how do I transition out of this hold? So I created Swin City League in 2018, and then 2019 November, Thanksgiving. My homeboy runs Thanksgiving Hoop Fest. I don't know if you heard about it. It's a big thing here. Yeah. So I was at his event, and at the time I was taking some pictures, and it was like, hey, you know what? Swin City Mag. Just ran with it.
Yeah, man. Shout outs to the folks at the Thanksgiving Hoop Fest. That's actually where we met. We were in Dallas Thanksgiving weekend. Wonderful event, man. And I can't wait to go back to it next year. I'm hoping that it's either at Duncanville or at the AAC.
So this was, with them opening everything back up, especially here in Texas, because we're a red state.
Yeah, y'all 100% now.
So going into next year, not even just saying going into this next year, but going into the fall/winter. Yeah, Thanksgiving Hoop Fest should be running on all cylinders. And it was crazy because the big question was with it, how was he going to pull it off with the COVID restrictions? But he was still able to do his thing, which was beautiful when you, especially in a time of you don't know.
Yeah, man. So
he adapted really quick. So shouts out to Glenn, man. Hey,
my man Glenn Smith, man, he really pulled it off. He really did. Shout outs to all the tournament directors or event directors that were able to do this in the pandemic. Like, shout outs to my guy Jerome Weaver from Atlanta, Georgia. This weekend we'll be at the TipOff Classic in Sewanee, Georgia. So they have a whole lot of big time AAU programs coming through. We got Night Riders Elite, B-Mays Elite, you know what I'm saying? All the heavy hitters will be down there. So last year, what he did was, with the COVID protocols that were in place, there was rules, restrictions, but he still made it happen. Everything went as smoothly, people were safe, and it was so successful that the coaches, they had to do so there's going to be 2 sessions, one this weekend and the other one for the 4th of July.
Right.
So, shout outs to the Tip-Off Classic, man. So yeah, talk to us a little bit about Swin City, the league.
Man, so basically Swin City League is a platform. I gotta do a quick adjustment because I didn't know my iPad was going. Okay, there we go.
No,
Am I good? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Good.
Give me 1 second, man. I do apologize for this. I didn't know it was going dead.
No, you good.
Excuse the arm, y'all. Excuse the arm. All right, there we go. We rock. All right. So with the league is basically a platform to help players, make it to that next level. We have middle school players that want to play at the high school level, so we're giving them certain rules. High school players that want to make it to college, so we give them certain rules, and college players that want to play at the next level, so we give them, so it's a platform, man. We've been successful with it. This year's been, during COVID, it's been great. We've even brought one of New York's own, Cha-Ching, down quite a few times. Shouts out to Cha-Ching and Dykeman basketball. Love y'all. Love the East. Love the East. I can't say that enough. It's a lot of love out there. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it's just like I said, a platform to help players reach that next level, man.
So how did you and Dave Teal, aka Cha-Ching, get acquainted, man? How did that happen?
Man, so man, let's see. I forgot, man. Being honest with you, because it's the interactions. We've always been around the same people. And matter of fact, we officially met. Remember when Slam had the Volume 1?
Yeah.
So
3 years ago to be exact. Right.
Exactly. So I've known, Dykeman, I know the owners, I know Kenny and all them. So I've been on them for a while, and also KP, and shouts out to KP Rose Classic. Now he's doing Winter Series now. And the rest of the guys out there. excuse me for not saying your name,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, it was just all at Slam, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna reach out to you soon." He was like, "Yeah, man, yeah, hey, let's do it." And you know, that's how we linked up, man.
Indeed.
It was definitely, you know Marquis, right? Marquis Poole.
Yeah. Shout out to Marquis.
So yeah. So Slam Classic. So I brought Harmony Turner. She was the only girl from Texas to come up and play in that, because you basically you had a lot of East Coast kids in there. So so we can't. That's when I brought her up there. That's when I met him. But that's all I can say with that. I know that whole conversation just went everywhere, but it makes sense. It made sense in my head.
Right. No, but yeah, I'm sure he turned it out at when you guys had the event.
Yeah. And see, and the thing about it was, a lot of people down here, they know about Dykeman, but they don't know the detailed pieces of what make Dykeman.
Right.
Or just the whole East Coast feel to it. So
right.
Only a few did. So when he came in, they were like, "What is this dude talking about?" Then they started like, "Oh, okay." Then everyone started loving it. Then the second time he came back down, everyone it was all love. So that's that's the thing with what I do. I love being that one to give kids an experience.
Indeed.
Not just another, but the experience.
So you also have a scouting service called She's Up.
Yeah. So the She's Up was the exposure camps I was telling you about.
Okay.
So they had the exposure camp and the scouting service mixed together, where we were able to help kids get to the next level. So
Indeed.
yeah, and that's what was running for the 7 years strong. That's one of the main reasons I was always in the tri-state area.
Got you, man. Nah, man, that's pretty dope. The girls, they definitely need all the exposure that they can get.
Yeah.
Because they've been overlooked too long. And I'm happy to see girls basketball flourishing the way it is, man. Yeah. I just wish that, what happened in the NCAA tournament didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? The NCAA, they got to do better. They got to do better.
Yeah. No, you're right. Hold on a second. But yeah, man, it's one of those things that you just have to react. Just get it done. They just need to get stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
What they do for the boys, why can't you do it for the girls? It costs the same amount. Well, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it for the women. Not just for the girls, but for the women. Even with my All-Star event that we have coming up next weekend, we're making sure that we put, what the boys get is what the girls get. What the girls get is what the guys get. You get what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
So everyone's getting the same thing. We're not gonna just plush the boys out and all the gear and give the other, and give the girls some socks. We want to make
much more than that.
Yeah. We want to make sure that, hey, when we say we show love, we show love.
Exactly.
We want to make sure that, hey, they got a t-shirt, you got a t-shirt. They get a toothbrush, you get a toothbrush.
Exactly. Now, name, some of the more prominent players that have played in the event in the Swin City League.
Swin City League. Oh man. So for the girls, oh man, this year. Well, we had teams. We had top teams come in. So we had Dallas Madison, which they lost this year, but I think they won. Coach Mobley's team won like 3 or 4 straight state championships. We had Pinkston. They had a really good group. They got a young kid. He's a freshman. Dink Pate. Dink is like maybe 6'7", 6'8" at the guard. Yeah. Let's see who else. A very good OD wide out of Fort Worth. Shouts out to Coach James. I mean, I wouldn't say just a whole lot of superstars, because we're not really focused on the superstars. We're really focused on, a complete whole, if that makes any sense.
Indeed. Now, so yeah, you've done high school, you've done middle school, I think, as well.
Yeah. We did a middle school this. We revamped our middle school this year. Well, we really revamped everything, but the middle school was definitely dope this year.
Yeah, man, that's pretty dope right there. The young kids definitely deserve a chance to be seen as well. I normally don't focus on middle school too much, because it's like, I feel like those young kids don't deserve to be exploited. Those young kids deserve to they're supposed to love the game. Once high school comes, they could start experiencing the business. But if you're under the age of 13, man, they should just have fun.
Yeah. Just enjoy. Oh, my son's the top 7th grader in the nation. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if your child is 6'9", okay, in the 7th grade, hey, you know what? He's 6'9". But and the thing about it is, and what I've learned, especially here in the DFW, someone might not know you 7th through your junior year. Right. All of a sudden, that one transition somewhere, all of a sudden, boom. I'll use this for instance. Robert Jennings. He didn't have no offers. Freshman year, no offers. Sophomore year, no offers. Okay. Going into this last year, right now, he's considered, I think, a 3-4 star.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that, he went over to Texas Impact for AAU, and he transferred to this homeschool program called Taka, which they play, both.
Yeah, I heard of Taka. Yeah.
So long story short, that's, like I said, those small transitions, and it's messed up that it's not all coaches, and everyone's situation is different. But if you're not going to use a kid for what he's really good at, let that person go somewhere else. It's, now if they're just being greedy, that's a whole different ballgame. But if there's a kid that you're just keeping right here and you're not going to show them no love, let that person, he or she, let that person go somewhere else so they can eat and so they become who they need to become. Seen a lot of that go on. A lot of that happen.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, it's a lot of these parents living through their kids, and I've seen it already on so many levels. Like, I've seen parents, curse out other people because it's like they act like, okay, you're not supporting my child, then I don't like you, because it's like you're not gonna what's the word I'm thinking of? It's like you're not gonna go along with what they want you to go along with. You know what I'm saying? Basically, because you're not going along with the hype train like everybody else. But then again, I look at it like this. It's like, if your child doesn't make it to where you want them to be, are you going to love them, or are you going to look at them as a disappointment because they didn't fulfill your dreams? And that's something that a lot of parents have to really think about before. It's like you putting that undue pressure on your child. It's like you're setting your child up for failure.
Yep. No, that's true. That's true. I've seen a lot of kids, and it sounds so messed up. As soon as they got to college, they were done.
Yeah.
Like I've helped a lot of kids, and it was crazy. And I always asked the kid, I was like, "Are you sure you want to play college basketball?" "Yeah, I want to play. I'm gonna ask you this again. Forget what your parents is talking about. Do you really want to play basketball?" "Yeah, I want to play." They don't want to play.
Yeah.
They're tired, especially on the girl side,
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
The girls.
Yeah,
It's like
guys is different, they
right. Some of the men, some of the guys can take it, but with the girls, it's even worse because the parents are 10 times more overprotective over their daughters.
mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that might be even worse.
Yeah.
Like
No,
with the boys, you expect them to be exploited, but with the
yeah.
girls, it's a lot more drama involved.
It is. It's unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. That hopefully they get it all figured out.
Yeah, man. So you happen to have some pretty good news that you shared with me recently. If you want to share it, feel free to share
it. Yeah, I'm not gonna share it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. I know
that's
you
fair
want
enough.
Exclusive. I appreciate that.
Nah.
Yeah, that right there. Yeah, I can't. Not yet, but.
He has a big secret coming up soon, so everybody stay tuned.
Yeah. When this pop, we got to get back on.
Yeah,
we got to get back on. Then we could say it then. But yeah, I'm in the kitchen cooking, man.
All right. So, now that everything's back to 100% in Texas, like how's everything within the basketball community out there?
Oh, back like we never left.
Like it seems like there's a lot of tournaments popping up. You got shout outs to Kellen Buffington, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, Buff.
Putting on some great events.
Buff, my dude.
Drive Nation, they're putting together events.
Mm-hmm.
Circuit Hoops, they're coming to Dallas. I believe my man Alec Kinsky that used to be with D1, that used to run D1 Circuit. He's putting together a couple of events at the Drive Nation facility. Everything, there's a lot of good stuff going on out in Texas.
Yeah,
particularly the DFW.
Yeah, and every part of Texas has some really good basketball. Let's go ahead and get that out there.
Houston, yeah.
Houston is strong. Houston is strong. West Texas is strong. East Texas is players out there, but this DFW is
different.
It's different. That's just what it is. It's definitely different, and I'm a very non-biased type person. I don't care where you're from, but just looking at the numbers, DFW.
Nah, but there's one team in the DFW that stood out above many this year, and you already know who I'm talking about. Shout outs to the Duncanville Panthers.
Let me tell you something, man. That's unit. They call the Soto U. I'm gonna call that University of Duncanville, man. They doing something different over there. You got
man, Coach Peavy, man. Like
yeah.
I remember the day me and Glenn did the promo. Matter of fact, when we did our interview about the Hoop Fest, he said that, and what he said came to fruition. He said that Yipsy Prep would not come into Texas and leave with a W.
Yeah.
And everything he said came to fruition. Matter of fact, yeah, they Duncanville left the AAC with a 14-point victory.
Yeah, man. Duncanville is different, man. PV, of course, this Duncanville period has always had a great tradition, winning. But then, PV came into play, was it 2-3 years ago? I think it's 3 years ago. And, that first year he had Jah'mius, second year, his son. And I'm not, let me say this right here. I'm not singling no one out, but saying it was just those certain guys that made everything pop, because as a team, as a unit, they ran strong,
Right.
And then, then going into this year, I'm just quote unquote highlighting players right now. And this year, Zurich Damon Juan, Ron, Cam, and I forgot my point guard's name. Golly, I can't think of it, but he's really good. He plays for he played, dang, was it Southern Assault now? Yeah, the Southern
CJ
Assault.
Ford?
CJ Ford, yes, CJ Ford. When you got guys that buy in, it's a whole different ball game. And Duncanville, and shouts out to Waxahachie for what they did. They did, they beat Duncanville and all that. But as a unit, Duncanville is just different, man.
I seen I guess that same week that that everything that the 100% stuff was announced, like I saw, like I guess they sold out quick the tickets for that game, and I wasn't expecting the crowd to actually be like that. I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna be how it's always been, with the limited attendance. But I'm like, I'm watching the YouTube videos as I'm on my way to the movie theaters in an Uber, and I see, it's filled to. So yeah, I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. But yeah, we were talking about the game in which Waxahachie and Duncanville met up. So yeah, I'm on my way to the movie theaters to see Boogie in the movie with Pop Smoke. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. I went to, so I'm on my way to the movie theaters to see that movie, and I'm watching the game on YouTube, and it's like filled to capacity. I'm like, wow. I'm like, I didn't think it would be filled this soon.
Yeah, man. Texas is just different, man. That's all I can say. Texas is different. We beat to our own drum.
Yeah.
We beat to our own drum. This is going to jump off subject, but it goes back to where I'm going with it when I say we beat to our own drum. From what I know, the whole nation is on one grid.
Mm-hmm.
We're on our own grid.
Yeah.
So when we had that power, when we had the severe storm, all of Texas suffered because we was on our own grid.
Wow.
So it goes back to we do our own, we do our own thing.
That's crazy, man. Nah, but yeah, man. I'm glad that everything in Texas is starting up again. There's so many AAU teams out there, sponsored or unsponsored, which is crazy.
And still got that heat. Still have that heat. There's teams staying away from other teams because they're afraid of smoke.
So nah. Now that I think about it, Buff's event was appropriately named. Who Want the Smoke?
Who Want the Smoke?
It was appropriately named because it's like, you have some teams with these players that don't, the bigger name teams, they either feel that they have nothing to prove by playing against certain teams, or they're afraid because they may get exposed. So events like that,
and that's the part. That's the part because one, there's a lot of talent in the world, just in the world, period. There's a lot of talent.
Yeah.
So, and I've never understood this because, and I'm much older than you, but when we found out that somebody was ranked, we want to go at their head.
Yeah.
And it's like that now, but coaches be like, "No, we ain't gonna play them. We gonna go over here. We're gonna
exactly.
right here." Like, no, man. If you have the players that has what it takes to make it to do what it's supposed to do, then let's get it done. Absolutely. If they got a caliber of kids, and you got a caliber of kids, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
You know, like there's a team 3D. 3D
Yeah, I've
Empire.
been watching them. Shout outs to that crew.
Yeah. Sean, he's doing. I'm gonna call him the what's it, the mad scientist. I like what he's doing with this program, man. You know, I really like what he's doing with this program. And, you know, I like what other people are doing with their programs as well. But what he's doing, what he has done, he has taken players. He ain't went over here and said, "Hey man, come over here and play with me." Hey man, no, it's none of that. You know, and that's part of the business. That's part of the business.
Mm-hmm. But he's bringing up the homegrown kids.
He's bringing up,
yeah,
over here watering, put some sun on them,
right,
a little more water,
right.
You know, so he. Shout out to Sean, man. I can't knock that. And then the others that are doing it too. Shouts out to them as well. Right. You know, but
it's much easier for these programs to poach the kids than bring them up.
Yeah.
That's the conclusion that I've come to. It's like, do you really want to know how to coach, or do you really want to know how to just win?
Yeah.
It can't be either. You could have both, but wouldn't you rather have one or the other? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That would be my question to the coaches out there. Yeah. On all levels.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I want to send a quick shout out to all the OGs. Shout out to Biggie. You know, I'll call him one of the young OGs. Shout out to Coach Tony Johnson, Dallas Mustangs. Shouts out to, you know, Blue Chips, Coach Malone. He's not even coaching no more, but you know, he's out there. RIP to Jazzy, Urban DFW. You know, that's my guy. But you know, Coach Wright, y'all, you know, Texas already know who he is. He's from New York, you know, but you know, brought that field down, and you know, we call him the Godfather down here because he did some things that wasn't, you know, Texas wasn't accustomed to. You know, shook up the free world a little bit, and did some beautiful things, and made it what we are today. And for those that I did not mention, hey, it's no disrespect. I got a lot of things in my head right now, but I love y'all too. Man, shouts out to y'all too.
Indeed, man. So this is
Vaughn, you know, shouts out to Impact, frat brother TJ, Vaughn Southern Assault, you know, Perk, he's taking over the Urban DFW, him and Jazz's daughter. I can't think of everybody. I apologize.
Shout outs to everybody out there. Yeah. But before I lead up to the fun question, Baylor and what was the other school that's in the Final Four? Baylor and U of H. You know, shout outs to those. Like, how does it feel to have two schools from the Lone Star State in the Final Four?
Listen to me when I say this, and I mean, of course, they got players from, you know, you know, a little bit everywhere. It is what it is, but at the end of the day, you know, that's where that pride come in. Texas is Texas. Mm-hmm. You know, Texas is Texas, and hey, that's all I can say. Texas is Texas. Welcome to Texas. So, you know, Indeed. We'll see. Well, you know, we're gonna see what this Final Four unfolds, but Texas is Texas. It's dope. You know.
All right. Well, final question. What's next in the future for Tony Swindle and the Swin City League and Magazine?
Man, you know, we're just taking our time growing. Just know we are working. You know, we're in the palace planning. You know, I'm not even gonna say I'm in the dungeon. I'm not gonna say I'm in the cave. I'm in the palace. I'm in the palace planning. You know, so all I can say is, hey, when it drops, when it releases, hey, that we're rolling.
Well said, Tony. Thank you for coming on to share your testimonial, and I wish you nothing but the best moving forward with Swin City.
Oh man, no, I appreciate you, man, inviting me out and then having this zone, baby, this interview, baby.
Indeed. Well, everybody, this is episode 114 of Hoops Talk with Dave's Joint. Shout outs to my guy Tony Swindle for coming on to share his testimonial. For those of you guys out there in Dallas, Texas, or Amarillo, Texas, or West Texas, or are supporters of the Swin City League, go check out this interview on Facebook, YouTube, and IGTV. Stay safe, stay blessed. Peace. Elia in Texas, continue to stay masked up, even though you guys are at 100%.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, even though, like, hey, I'm not getting vaccinated. But I still wear my mask because I don't want, I don't want nobody else to feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and everyone's like, hey, we open, but the stores and the restaurants, put your mask on.
There we go, Texas. Stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.